Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Chess and welcome back to another day our survival video. We know that Halloween events will come just I guess when this video is released it's about like I don't know a week or 2 weeks from now, right? It's almost there already and it's about to happen sooner or later, right? It's gonna happen anyway. So I guess before we actually jump into the Halloween events, it's kind of I guess it's best to um kind of learn about, I would say, like if you are new, right? Kind of know about what's gonna happen during Halloween events, right? I guess this you can consider this as spoilers, I would say, about the story. We will actually take a look at the quests, the main quest about the Halloween event story, basically. And yes, the Halloween event actually has like some kind of storyline, and yeah, like it will pop up this quest over here. It's called Journey into the Shadow. When the Halloween event starts, you will have these quests over here as incomplete, and then you have to basically do whatever it does or whatever it tells you to do over here, right? There will be series of quests, and I would say that there are so many boss monsters that you have to fight, and then yeah, like I said, right, there will be like I would say this is kind of spoilers, but um again, like I would say the main boss are actually quite difficult. Like there are so many of them. In I would say in every page or quests, you will have to fight some sort of monsters that are still tied to Halloween themed, right? And then like basically you have to fight all of them, and you basically will go to the final boss, right? And we'll have to discuss about that anyway later on. But so yeah, this is the quest, Journey into the Shadow. Also, by the way, whenever I make these kind of videos about Halloween events, I'm not entirely sure if they will actually still, copy and paste the same exact events or not from the previous years. But this is from the past year basically. So yeah, there might be some changes, but I would say storyline wise, I don't think the story will change. Like the main boss that you have to fight, I don't think this will change whatsoever. They might be changed like the HP, the damage, the armor, or something like that. They might, just to adjust about our current, version about, the big updates, right? They might actually probably increase the HP and armor. I'm not entirely sure, because we have some even more powerful weapons, right, compared to last year. So that is actually a possibility that they will actually increase the health points and the armors of these main bosses. So yeah, this is the first page, Journey into the Shadow. I've been invited to join a hunt in the world of Shadow. I need to go through the nearest portal. So yeah, this is basically about Journey into the Shadow, right? So to get into the Shadow Realm, you will have to enter portal. At least that's back then. You will have to find some kind of. There will be like purple portals spread across the map. Let's take a look actually in the world map over here. I believe near Yufa there was one, like to the north of Yufa. I still remember. I believe there is one over here in the middle of Chelia and Tumen, and then Sverdlovsk and Kurgan as well. Like this one near the Bandit base, I think there will be one. Um, After that in Magneto, I would say also there will be one over here. Um, yeah, I kind of forgot already, right? And then there's also other place as well. I think there will be some near the Tula area as well for the new players, I think. Um, and yeah, there's also other like more random portals will be at random locations throughout the world map, right? They might actually change this, like the location, probably, but I doubt it because last year it was fine. Actually, the portal location were kind of fine already, so I don't think this will be any problem. So the location of the portal will probably stay the same. So yeah, you enter those portal, and then you will get into the Shadow Realm. In the Shadow Realm, you will fight monsters instead of regular animals or bandits. Yeah, there will be lots of monsters like spiders, and then there's ghosts. There are werewolves, witches, and maniacs and stuff like that. Yeah, basically every other monsters that are in about Halloween, right? Um, and then upon beating those stuff you will get rewards, I think. Like I believe some of them will be like treats, like these treats over here, the one that you can cook, I think, with the most complicated recipe, I would say. Yeah, this one over here, you can get this for free from beating those monsters. I think specifically will be the ghost costume, because the ghost costume kind of represents about like trick or treat, right? You wear the costume, and then like just like any other Halloween events, you go from places to places and ask about treat or treat, right? Trick or treat, I mean. So yeah, so there's that. That's about after you enter the Shadow Realm. And if you want to get out of those Shadow Realm, then you can just, go back to the portal, and then you can, revert the world back to the normal world, basically. So yeah, the portal will be basically it will be like literally the portal to the Shadow Realm, I mean. Um, okay, so after you go in there, oh, I didn't mean to press exit. Quite annoying sometimes. Also, the fact that I need to scroll back to the first page as well. Okay, so this is the second one. Passing through the portal, I found myself in a noisy tavern, full of hunters sharing tables with unbelievable creatures. No one noticed me except the demonic looking bartender. He called me over with a wave. Okay, so this is basically the NPC. This is this page basically talks about the NPC, in which, in this case, bartender, right? There's a bar or NPC, I guess. It will be the same as the NPC like here. I'm not sure if they will change this or not, but there will be like multiple options over here as well. So there will be like quests, about Halloween quests as well, and then there's like, I think like there will be like types about the rewards as well. Like there will be like Halloween event currency. I believe it will be like some kind of candy, I think, if I remember correctly, right? So it looks like candy, I think. I kind of forgot already, but yeah. And then you can trade those candies. I mean, you can get candies from doing quests. You will get several, and then after that, you can trade those candies into rewards, right? Like let's say over here, you can trade the rewards with the candy currency, basically, and that's about it. And we actually already talked about the items that you can get, I believe, in the previous one. So there's that. Go check that out for like, I guess, items that you can get. So yeah, there will be like main quests, side quests, and then rewards as well to exchange rewards. And then yeah, I think that's the most basic thing, I think. Yeah, there's bartender over here. So this is like the NPC, basically. NPC for the Halloween events. After that, I know who is behind digging up the bodies. A man named Igor is collecting body parts so he can build a Frankenstein monster. My job is to put an end to it. Okay, this is your first main boss, I believe. Um, the first main boss will be over here, digging up the body. So you will have four enemies, I believe. Uh, Not really strong, I would say, in terms of damage. However, they all have like some kind of thick armor, I believe. Like also, like I believe one of them or even all of them, you cannot really deal damage to them unless you destroy their graveyard first. Like basically you destroy the graveyard, and then they will be vulnerable, right? If the graveyard is still there, then they will be immune, I think. However, if you break the graveyard, I believe something will pop up, like the like another main boss, I think, will pop up. And then yeah, like basically there will be like, I believe, four graveyard um in the in the combat arena, right? And then it will summon four creatures, I think, and that's about it, I guess. Also, by the way, keep in mind that last year one of them actually carried a spoon, I believe. I don't know if that will still be the case or not. I think it was Spooky Spoon or Demonic Spoon. I kind of forgot which one was which. Either this one's the Spooky Spoon or the Demonic Spoon. They will carry one of those, and you have to kill whatever carried that. Um, and then you can get yourself the spoon. That was what happened last year. And then if the monster that carried the spoon ran away, yeah, they can actually run away. If they ran away, then you will not be able to get the spoon, which would be unfortunate, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people actually didn't get the spoon this way because they let the monsters escape, because it kind of has thick armor, right? So it's kind of difficult to attack that anyway. So yeah, keep in mind about that as well. If you're at the Halloween events, don't rush. Um, Ask for other players first about how to beat the main boss, right? Do not just go in yourself and then like basically try it, right? Because there are actually some quite unique boss that you will have certain strategy to actually beat them. And I will talk about that after this as well. So yeah, basically that's the first main boss, which is about people that, gold digger. I would say, like any other, like um, creatures that dig up graveyard. Basically, I don't know why that's like that. I'm not sure, but yeah. And then the second will be Frankenstein. So this one's quite interesting as well. So the Frankenstein will be, there will be Igor over here, and then there will be Frankenstein. It's like uh, the story. I would say it's kind of the same as well about man. No, not man. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, a man named Igor. He tried to create Frankenstein, right? And actually, the battle will be interesting. So the Frankenstein will be at the center of the combat, and then at the west, east, and to the north of that. Actually, no, there might be actually more than that. Probably like five. There is like five towers spread across the uh, combat arena. I think it forms like some kind of pentagram, or yeah, like five-sided polygon, I would say. Um, that will point to the Frankenstein in the middle, right? So yeah, basically, what happened here in the combat, if I remember correctly, if you try to kill the Frankenstein, the tower will actually electrocute the Frankenstein, and the Frankenstein will be healed basically. And it's actually a lot of heal, so you can't really beat the Frankenstein just yet without destroying the towers, right? However, if you destroy one of the tower, Igor, the person over here that creates the Frankenstein, they will actually like approach the tower and then actually fix the tower. So let's say you destroy the tower over here to the left, right? You destroy that, and then you try to destroy the one at the bottom, right? Like before you actually finish doing that, Igor, like let's say Igor is here, it will try to move towards the tower, and then he will actually rebuild the tower as well, and then the tower can heal the Frankenstein, right? I think the strategy will be killing Igor first, if I remember correctly, because if Igor dies, it means that there will be no one to fix the tower, right? And then if there's no one to fix the tower, and then you can beat the tower, and then because there is no tower, then the Frankenstein cannot heal, right? And then you can start killing the Frankenstein. I think that's the strategy that I used back then. However, there is also another problem. I kind of forgot what, right? I think if you kill Igor, I think Igor can be respawned. Like yeah, like actually Igor can be resurrected by Frankenstein as well. So it's kind of sorts of loop, right? Like there's be like loop. Igor will fix the tower will heal the Frankenstein, and then Frankenstein will scream the name Igor, and then suddenly Igor showed up from somewhere from the combat arena, and that's actually quite funny as well. Like it's basically when you ask the butler, right? The butler to come, you scream, you call the name, and then the butler just showed up out of nowhere, right? I think that kind of the same here. So yeah, there's that. However, I think Igor, the Frankenstein, can only do that one time in a while, I believe. So yeah, I think the strategy will be the same. You kill Igor first, and then the Frankenstein will summon again, and then you kill Igor again, right? However, if you kill that again, I don't think the Frankenstein can summon again. So we might have to see, right? But there will be like sort of unique interaction here. Like Frankenstein will be healed by the tower, and then the tower, if you destroy them, will be rebuilt by the Igor. And then if you kill Igor, Frankenstein will scream the name Igor, and then it will show up again with full health as well. So yeah, like I said, it's actually quite interesting. Also, by the way, I forgot to mention that you cannot, I think, you cannot stun any of these main boss. So this will be interesting as well. Like the Digger that I said, right? There are four of them. You cannot actually stun them, so that's actually interesting. Oh, actually, I just remembered. I think it was not four diggers. There is one diggers, right? And then there's four graveyard. And then this digger will try to, dug up all these graveyard, I think, and then summoning the monsters, right? The other main boss, basically. So yeah, kind of forgot already, right? Because it's already last year and I kind of didn't actually take screenshot or anything because I don't know if I'm going to make any videos about the art. So yeah, I didn't actually screenshot that, but it's kind of interesting. So that's about the Igor and Frankenstein, right? Once you kill all of them, I think the quest will be completed. Also, by the way, Frankenstein will hit for a lot, I believe. And if I remember correctly, I think the tower can also hit you as well using the lightning damage, I believe, and it's quite uh, a lot. I believe it's like 600 damage or something like that. So yeah, you need to actually be careful when you're trying to do these quests. Ask the person that already finished the quest first. Do not go in blind. Otherwise, you will fail and you will die basically because I don't think there's an escape to this. You cannot escape any of this. If you want to escape, the only way is to die, and that will, that will be bad, right? Because you need to retrieve the items and yada yada and so on and so on. Anyway, next will be I managed to destroy the monster, but Igor got away. Oh, so Igor got away. He took a huge tome with him, decorated with the image of an eye inside a slanting star. Um, okay, this one I kind of forgot, but actually, one second. I kind of need to drink there. But yeah, he took a huge stone with him decorated with the image of an eye inside a slanting star. Um, I kind of don't know what this is about. An eye inside a slanting star. Oh, that might be a little bit difficult. I'm kind of forgot what main boss over here. So yeah, um let's actually like skip first. The mission was a trap. I should have known. I need to hurry and tell the bartender everything. I inside a slanting star. I think this one's kind of like werewolf or something like that, I think. But this one is quite the easier boss as well because the first boss was kind of difficult because it has immunity or invulnerability as long as it has the gravestone. So yeah, um, it's kind of difficult, right? And then the Igor as well with the Frankenstein. This is actually quite a fight as well. So the next one, I think this one was kind of easy. If I remember correctly, I think it was werewolf or something like that. And then yeah, like basically the main character got debated, like you got debated, right? Like you thought it was Igor, but it was something else, right? And I believe it was kind of werewolf or something, but it was quite easy. I think the werewolf can just recover the health every turn, I think, and every time it hits you, they will also recover the health point. I think it's something along those basically, those ways basically. So yeah. The next will be, yeah, the mission was a trap. I should have known. I need to hurry and tell the bartender everything. I think this one you need to go back to the bartender, I believe. Um, Next one, Igor was not with Bloody Mary, but I saw a suspicious puppet there. Maybe the bartender knows something about it. Okay, so there are two main boss over here. The first will be Bloody Mary. This is also quite interesting combat as well. So the Bloody Mary will revolve around the actual lore about Bloody Mary as well. So there will be Bloody Mary, I think, that will hanging around in the arena, right? The combat arena, and the Bloody Mary will actually throw you some kind of explosives that can do a lot of damage, and those explosives can actually one shot your pets. I believe it's like at least 500 damage or something like that. So yeah, it's 3 by 3 area as well. So yeah, it's like a bomb, right? The Bloody Mary throws some kind of rose bomb, I think. Like Bloody Mary, right? About the rose as well, the red rose, right? I think. um, and it will actually hurt you for a lot. So you need to kill Bloody Mary, right? However, there are actually three mirrors, I believe, to the north, west, and east. These three mirrors, every time you kill Bloody Mary, one of the mirror will re-summon the Bloody Mary, just like in the lore, right? The Bloody Mary was actually summoned through the reflection from the mirror, right? So that's the problem, right? So you need to actually destroy the mirror first, right? Before killing the Bloody Mary, right? Because if you just kill the Bloody Mary, then the mirror, one of them will resummon the Bloody Mary, and it will loops just like that. If you kill the Bloody Mary again, another mirror will summon, and then if you kill the Bloody Mary again, the mirror will resummon again, and so on and so on. So you need to destroy the mirror. However, this is the interesting part. The mirror actually has unique ability. Um, if you hit the mirror will reflect all the damage back to you. Actually, not all the damage. I think it's like some kind of the similar like the lightning damage from the tower. It was quite heavy as well. I think it can reach 1,000 damage or something like that. So yeah, basically, if you shoot the mirror will reflect all the damage back to you with that additional damage, and you can basically die, right? However, you can actually trick this one with a lot of stuff, because remember that the Bloody Mary actually throws bomb, right? 3 by 3 area. So the easiest way will be going close, being close to the mirror, and then letting the Bloody Mary to hit you with the bomb, right? And then the bomb will hit you, but also will hit the mirror as well, and then the mirror dies, right? The mirror breaks, or destroyed, right? And then the mirror will not hurt you, because the one that hurts the mirror was the Bloody Mary, right? And then the mirror and the Bloody Mary is kind of the same team, so the mirror doesn't actually revenge the Bloody Mary, right? So you will not get the damage, as well as the Bloody Mary as well. However, the explosives from the Bloody Mary can actually destroy the mirror. So that's the easiest way, right? And then there is the second one, will be using your pets. Did I say to you about reflection, right? So if you're here, you shoot the mirror at the north, you will form some kind of direct line, right? Direct line inside, right? So what you will do is using your pet to block yourself and the mirror, right? So this will be you over here, and then this is your pet in the way of the line, and then this is the mirror, right? And then you can shoot the mirror using any weapons, and the mirror will not reflect back to you, because there is your pets in the way, right? So the mirror cannot see you directly, right? Because you are behind the pets, and because the pets didn't hurt the mirror, therefore the mirror didn't actually revenge to the pets, like let's say your wolf or raven, right? So yeah, there you go. That's one another way to beat the mirror as well, I believe. So yeah, that's about Bloody Mary. Interesting combat mechanics as well. Like again, I will actually come back to this. Well, not come back, but I will actually showcase how to kill any of these as well in the future, um, when the event comes, right? So that's Bloody Mary and the mirrors basically. The next will be the puppet. The puppet is actually the most difficult one for me anyway. The reason why is because the puppet will actually copy yourself. It will copy your stats, your health point. It will copy your armor. It will copy your weapons, any weapons that you have in your possession, and it will also copy all of your perks as well. So you have lucky devil, then your copy, the opponents that copies you, the puppet basically, they will also have the lucky devil perks as well. So you cannot kill yourself, your double, for another round basically. The reason why I said that this is actually difficult is the fact that it copies everything that you have, right? It copies your armor, so if you wear polar armor, then your copy will also have polar armor as well. And that's actually bad because polar armor, last time I checked, it has extra damage from the berserk, right? So your copy will also have the extra damage from the polar armor as well. There's that's the first issue, right? The second will be your weapon. So let's say you bring PKM, the machine gun, like handmade rocket launcher, and then Saipuha or Abakan, and then what is it, like RPG, like RPG, and then let's say other thing like pepper box, right? The shotgun. You bring those weapons with you, your double will also copy that weapons as well, and that's actually very bad because they will also get the bonus damage from the polar armor, the perks, everything that you have, and the damage will also be huge as well. So that is why it is interesting, right? That's the second issue. The third issue will be I think that's kind of it. I think like the armor, the weapons, and then probably the third one will be the perks that you have. Like let's say Lucky Devil, right? But Lucky Devil is basically you just need another round to finish your double, right? But anything can happen in that one turn, right? Maybe something else will kill you. Also, by the way, another issue, I guess issue number 4, is that the puppet is not alone. The puppet is not by itself. So there will be other creatures as well revolving around the puppets, I think. I think your double, because your double is technically the puppet, right? Your double will actually keep summoning stuff. I think zombie or something like that, into the map, right? And then like basically it will distract you, right? Um, so you might think, right? But Danny, can you not just be naked, right? You don't have any armor, you don't carry any weapon, right? Well, yeah, you can actually. But here's the thing. Like I said, the puppet is not alone. It can summon stuff as well. And then when you enter the combat first time, the puppet will actually already have a lot of creatures with them. So like you will not be able to just bare hand all of those creatures, right? And then now the fact that you can only carry one pet, therefore you can only choose one pet, right? Let's say wolf. Last year I actually only wear my armor. I didn't bring any weapons at all. And I leave all the damage to my wolf basically. So I use myself as tank. I will tank everything. Basically I will just attack everything, right? And after I attack all the creatures, they will all be aggro, uh, like provoked to attack me, right? So basically I got their attention, and then they will hit me because I have armor. Then I will be fine, right? And then my wolf will do the killing basically because the wolf actually hits for a lot, right? Like hundreds of damage, and the zombie is actually one hit kill. And then the creatures that the puppet summon actually is only one hit kill, so it shouldn't be a problem. And then the issue will be your double, right? Because if you have weapons, then your double will also use the weapons. However, since you don't bring any weapons, then your double will also not use any weapons, right? It will also use their bare hands, and that's actually great for the wolf because then the wolf can take a lot of hits as well, right, from the bare hands. Or if you can force your double to hit you as well, that would be great as well. So yeah, there's that. and then basically just leaving everything to the wolf. Basically, that's last year, I think. Um, Also, last year we could pick two pets. I think I used my raven and my wolf, right? I think I used the raven to stun the zombie, or basically kill the zombie, right? The creature that my puppet summon, and then my wolf can focus on my double, right? And then I can focus on aggravating all the creatures as well, right? So that's like my strategy last year. I'm not sure how it will be like this year, right? Because we can only bring one pet, so I will still use my wolf probably, but I'm not sure if I will be naked. Like I will probably still use armor, but I'm not sure if I want to wear, use any weapons or not, because the weapons are actually quite heavy as well. Like all of this time, you only use your weapons against the opponents, right? And then the opponents will not have, like the perks, will not have the lucky devil, will not have the extra damage, like extra action points or something like that, right? They don't have any of those. However, in this case, because of that, right, you're never getting used to fighting yourself, right? So this puppet over here is probably the most difficult one, because you literally have to fight yourself and your weapons. You can choose to not wear any weapons, but that will take the match a little bit too long, and then basically you just rely on the wolf, right? But luckily, the double, your double doesn't actually have wolf with them, so that's actually a nice point, right? The one that got duplicate is only you. Your pets will not be duplicated as well. So that's the puppet quest over there. Quite interesting. So yeah. Next, I still refuse to believe what I've seen, but that doesn't matter now. Everyone I've met works for Dracula, and he's planning something serious. As for Igor, I should ask the bartender about him. Okay, so the Dracula is basically the main boss, the final main boss that you will have to fight, I believe, in the last quest. We'll actually talk about that, right? So yeah, after this big combat, I believe the next one was quite easy. I'm not sure what it was. Let's actually proceed. Igor was pulled down to the abyss when he tried to flee. Um, but his mystical book was carried off by the headless horseman, riding right over the water. I have found the ship's log, but the records are in code. Time to head back to the tavern. Okay, so there are two over here. The first one will be Headless Horseman. I believe this one was directly after the puppet, like the next big boss, main boss. I think would be the Headless Horseman. So basically, the Headless Horseman will just be like four. Yeah, like literally four people. I think they will get struck by lightning at first, and then they all turn into skeleton riding horse, I believe. And they don't have heads. I kind of forgot already, but it's some kind of those along the way, right? But it was actually quite simple combat. They just have what is it like? They only have thick armor and HP, and that's about it. I believe the damage is quite decent, average. And I don't think they have any sort of unique ability as well. So it's basically just like fighting any random opponents, right? Like basically the one with no ability, special ability. So yeah, there's that. The Headless Horseman is actually easy. Um, and then the next one over here, the ship's lock, right? Over the water, and then ship's lock. So there will be ship basically, or boat, but it's more like ship, and it is actually a ghost ship. And yes, this will be Flying Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman will be the next boss as well. It is actually quite fun. It has unique ability as well. So the Flying Dutchman will also have, I believe, like some kind of kraken, like kraken, spread across the combat arena. I believe there will be three krakens. Basically, what you want to do is to beat the kraken first, because I think the kraken will have the same ability like the frogs. the ability to attack from far away and then pulling you towards them, right? I think the Kraken will also do that using the tentacles, I believe. They will pull you closer to something, right? Also, I believe the combat area will be filled with lots of traps as well, I believe. So yeah, there's that. And then there's also the obvious Flying Dutchman, but I think it was quite simple. I don't think the Flying Dutchman has any special ability as well. I think the Flying Dutchman only have like low HP, but your concern will be the Krakens because I believe they actually hit by a lot. And then the fact that they can pull you as well, so that's something, right? So yeah, your main concern I believe will be killing the Kraken first, and then after that the Flying Dutchman. I think that's some kind of along the way, right? Oh, I think I know what the Flying Dutchman can do. I think the Flying Dutchman can summon ghosts, like some kind of zombie ghosts or something, like the crew member, right? Because it is literally captain, right? The captain Flying Dutchman. It will summon all the crews every now and then, but I think the crews don't actually have lots of damage anyway. So yeah, your main concern will be the Kraken because those will be the one that has the most damage output. So yeah, there you go. The next one will be I managed to save the girl from the mummy. Okay, so this is the mummy next. But she disappeared without saying anything. Now I can go back to looking for the horseman. I hope the bartender has some information. So the next one will be the mummy, right? So the mummy is actually quite interesting if I remember correctly. So here your goal will be saving a girl from a casket, I believe, like some sort of mummy casket as well. And then I think there will be like some kind of unique ability as well from the casket. I believe the casket will heal the mummy, if I remember correctly. And then that you cannot actually heal the mummy. I mean, you cannot actually damage or kill the mummy. I think the mummy will be invulnerable as long as the casket is still, there, right? So you need to destroy the casket first or the coffin. Once you break the coffin, there will be like a woman or a girl in this case that appears from the coffin, right? So basically the mummy has held this girl for like custody or something like that, right? And you're basically saving the girl, and then the girl will actually attack the mummy if I remember correctly, and it will be like some kind of one hit KO as well. So yeah, there you go. Basically the mummy will die once you break the coffin, and I kind of forgot if there's anything else. Oh, I see. I remember now. Okay, so the mummy, um, it will attack you. You cannot attack the mummy. Basically, any damage you do to the mummy will be zero. The same as the grave digger, right? The same as well. I think that's it, right? You will deal no damage to the mummy, and then the mummy will have ability by of summoning mini creatures, I believe, like some kind of scorpions and then like spiders, snakes, and stuff like that. Basically, like some kind of Egyptian thing, right? Like if you see, if you watch any movie about mummy or pyramids or something like that, there will be like lots of, at least there will be like scorpions, snakes, and spiders, right? So that will be the case here as well. The mummy can actually spawn all those critters, I would say, and then basically they will distract you, right? So you will have to, but your main concern will be breaking the coffin. um, you can ignore the scorpions, but I think they can be annoying, right? Because the scorpion can throw some kind of acid as well, and it will be bad because I think the damage is actually quite high, like 300 damage or so or something like that. But yeah, so basically, there's a coffin that you need to break, and then there is mummy that cannot be destroyed, cannot be damaged at all. It will be zero, and then after that, the mummy can, summon all the creatures. I think what happened last year is that people actually use this to their benefits because the mummy actually spawned scorpions and then spiders, and not spiders, but more like what is it, like snakes, right? Scorpions, snakes, and yeah, I think that's it. um So you can basically farm these, right? You can let the mummy summon all of these creatures, and then you just focus on killing the scorpions and the snakes, right? And then after you finish the combat, you will have a lot of scorpions and snakes, right? So yeah, I don't know if they will change that or not, because it will be some kind of abusing the system as well, right? Because the mummy can spawn the scorpions and snakes, then you technically can farm their corpse, right? Their carcasses. So yeah, I think they will fix this, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, there you go. That's about the mummy, right? And then the next one will be the horseman head didn't tell me anything. Let's see if the bartender can get it talking. Okay, so this is another horseman. I'm not sure if the horseman will appear here or the previous one. I'm not sure, but there will be like combats with the horseman as well. So yeah, there's that. Basically, there will be combats with the horseman. Next, we have, I don't know if the bartender's plan will work, but it's our only hope. Um, this one I think oh, this one actually interesting. Okay, so um you need to use yeah, this is the last one. This is the Dracula. Okay, so um basically this one, right? The bartender's plan. So what was the bartender's plan? So basically I believe the Dracula actually summons a big giant thing. I forgot what it's called. Like, let's say Godzilla, right? But it was not Godzilla. I don't think it was something else. Like, it's basically or a titan or something like that, right? Like big monsters. So that's the plan, right? I think that's the plan that the headless horseman actually talk, or like basically the headless horseman kind of spilled the tea, right? Spilled the plan of the Dracula, basically, right? So what's gonna happen here is that this is actually a unique combat as well, in which you do not want to kill whatever the creature it is, right? So the bartender will have planned about planting some kind of seeds, I believe, and then the seeds will grow right into some kind of pumpkin, I believe. It's called pumpkin, actually. The king of the pumpkin. Um, Basically, the bartenders has the plan to grow this magical pumpkin seed into a giant pumpkin, right? Or like, yeah, I think it's pumpkin. And the pumpkin was like very huge, right? So they used this as a weapon to beat the Dracula's monster, basically. So yeah, that's actually an interesting final battle as well. But unfortunately, I don't think we will actually watch that combat. So yeah, there's that, unfortunately, right? So okay, let's talk about the pumpkin seed. Okay, I'm not sure if it's pumpkin or not, but I think it's pumpkin though. Yeah, I think it's pumpkin or pumpkin god, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so basically it will be from seed, right? There will be seed, and then if you attack the seed will evolve into like mediocre plants. Like, it will grow basically, right? The plants, and then if you attack the pumpkin plant again, it will evolve again. It will transform into a bigger creature, and then you keep doing this until it reaches the full size, the pumpkin god, basically. And then you stop. Basically, you do not attack that pumpkin god anymore. And then the pumpkin god will actually surrender, I believe, will escape after a few turns. Also, by the way, all of those creatures from the starting to the pumpkin cut, I believe they can actually hit you. So, you kind of want to have some kind of distance with those creatures as well. So, basically, what's gonna happen here is that you grow the pumpkin from small into a bigger pumpkin, right? And then the pumpkin monster, the pumpkin god, will actually destroy the titan that the Dracula has, basically. And that's about it, basically, right? Okay, so there's also a unique interaction here, because you can technically kill the pumpkin god, because the pumpkin god actually has more than 10,000 HP, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I believe there's like players that can actually kill the pumpkin like they said, right? I'm not entirely sure about the fact behind that. I didn't know if they were serious or not, right? But they said that they could actually beat the pumpkin god, um, but it will give nothing basically, right? So yeah, it's kind of disappointing, and it will not affect the main story as well, because you kill the pumpkin god, right? It's basically will not change the main story, like. You have no weapons, right? And then the Dracula ones, that's not the main story. The pumpkin god will still be there, and it will still fight the titan or something like that, right? The giants basically. And yeah, so that was last year anyway. So basically, if you manage to kill the pumpkin god, you will not get you would not get anything anyway. So to make it quick, I guess just let it escape, right? Again, I'm not sure if that will be still the same or not in this one. Maybe you can kill the pumpkin god, especially since you have all these great weapons nowadays, right? Like the pepper box, the PKM, they can hit like 30,000, right? Every hit. So, um, with the proper perk, with the proper setup, I think you can actually kill the pumpkin god. But, I don't think they will have special items. I don't think so. So yeah, like basically that's that. So you finally summon the pumpkin god, right? And the pumpkin god to the final battle, right? We barely managed to save the shadow border from destruction. Yeah, destruction from the battle between these pumpkin god and the creature that the Dracula summoned, right? I hate to think about what next year has in store for us. So yeah, there you go. That's it. Oh, actually, no. Also, after you beat that, the pumpkin god, not beat, but more like finish with that, you will be in final battle, right? So the final battle will be there will be two, right? The first will be the pumpkin god and the other giant, and then the second one will be you and the Dracula as well. So it's like bigger creature versus bigger creature, and then small creature versus small creatures, right? However, the Dracula is kind of disappointing as well. It's not that crazy. The vampire, basically. Um, Surprisingly, the puppet combat was actually much more difficult than the Dracula anyway. So yeah, the Dracula being the final main boss was, I would say, quite disappointing. Well, for me anyway, because it was quite easy. Um, I think the Dracula will be able to heal itself, and then I think it can transform into bats. Like, I'm not entirely sure, right? But it can like move rapidly throughout the combat area as well because the Dracula can fly, I think. Yeah, I think it can transform into bats or something like that. I kind of forgot, but yeah, there's something along those way, right? And then the armor, if I remember correctly, I think the Dracula has like 2500 armor or something like that, or even 3000. I don't know, but it's quite thick. But that's about it. I don't think the Dracula had special ability or something like that. I don't think so. But yeah, that's the Dracula basically. It was quite simple combat. You just basically attack the Dracula, and that's about it. Um, I would say that's much more difficult than the puppet battle because the puppet one was quite difficult because it's you fighting yourself, right? And also, fighting other creatures as well along the way. So, if you have, if you use an overpowered weapon, then the same goes with your double as well. Also, yeah, the armor as well, and so on, basically. And that's it. That's the final battle with the Halloween event boss, I think. There you go. That is it. The final one is you and the Dracula, but it's quite easy. And after you finish this, I don't think you can get anything special. I don't think you just get a lot of Halloween event currencies, if I remember correctly. So in this case, like the candies, right? You get lots of candies, and then the candies you can trade that in the store for other various items that we already talked in the previous one as well. So yeah, that's it, I guess. um Yeah, I guess that's all about the spoilers about the Halloween event. I mean, it's not really spoilers if it already happened last year, right? So, it can only be spoilers if the developers do not change anything, right? It could be spoilers for the upcoming Halloween events, but I don't think they will change anything, honestly, because this main quest over here, if you follow from the beginning to the end, the main quest over here is actually quite delicate, as in the storyline, right? You go to the shadow and then you meet these friends, you meet the bartender, your friend, and then it has a lots of requests, right? Like like lots of requests basically, like to spy with this Frankenstein, the Igor, the Gravedigger, and then the Igor has like like knowledge about something, right? And then it took you to the Bloody Mary, and then there's also the puppet as well that can copy you, and then there's also Headless Horseman that actually has the information about the Dracula, right? What it's trying to do. Apparently, the Dracula had plans to use the giant monsters to destroy the Shadow Realm. And yeah, basically the people of the Shadow Realm, which is the one in the bar, the NPC, the bartenders, they ask for your help, right? So that um so that their realm is not distracted basically because of the Dracula. And then in the end over here, you kind of manage to save, yeah, like here, right? You manage the shadow border from destruction. So you save the shadow realm as well. You save the NPC. You save the bartender, and it was happy ending, quite happy ending basically. And yeah, the Dracula died as well, and then the giants also died. I think both of them, like the pumpkin as well, like all the remains, right? And you win, you save the world, and yay, and the end, right? That's the end of the Halloween events. I believe you can do one main boss every day, if I remember correctly. There'll be lots of caps, I think. Not caps as in battle caps. There will be like restriction, I mean, like limits onto how many, I think to beat certain main boss, you will need certain level or tier of level. Let's say over here, right? You have this status over here, like level 4, right? So it will be the same. Like let's say the special over here. So level 1 is the main boss, right? The way to reach level 1, you will need certain points, right? Like reputation. However, to increase your reputation, you will need to do mini quests. So this will be the main boss at the very left, and then after that, these four over here will be all sorts of Halloween event themed quests. Basically, there will be lots of them, like hunting the maniacs, and then there will be like non-combat as well, like dancing with the skeleton march. That was actually quite interesting, quite funny as well. So basically, you're doing ritual with the skeleton people, doing dancing, and if you do the move wrong, then they will attack you, if I remember correctly. But if you do it right, then you will pass the quest. I think that's what happened. So yeah, it's quite funny as well. There will be lots of quests over here that obviously I cannot show right now, right? Because the event hasn't come and I don't have any like documentation from the previous event as well. But don't worry, not the event will come like sooner or later, right? Like I think next week will come eventually. But yeah, there you go. That's everything that you need to know about the stories about the Halloween events. Again, I'm not sure. I cannot guarantee if it will be the same this year or not. But from my speculation, from my theories, it will still be the same. Like the main boss that you need to hit will still be the same, but their stats, like their HP, their armor, their damage, will probably be increased by the developers because, like today at the current version, we have so many weapons, right, that deal a lot of damage. So, to balance things out, I believe the developers will actually increase the health points, the armors, and the damage of the monsters basically, and that's about it. But apart from that, the monsters will stay the same, the rewards will stay the same, I think as well. Like we already mentioned about that, right? Like let's go here. like all these items over here, right? This one over here, I think will stay the same, because that will be kind of unfair, right, for people that just started playing this year. That, let's say there will be no Helsing, right? How will they get this weapon over here, right? If it's not available. So that will be a little bit unfair, right? But yeah, that's just my theory. Everything, the rewards will stay the same, and for the people that already get this, will not be able to get this again for the second time. Instead, they will just be rewarded with a lot of candy currencies, I think, and then you can basically use those to buy something else. In this case, like, let's say the scrolls, right? You can use those currencies to buy the scrolls, and that's about it, I guess. But yeah, anyway, I think that'll be it for today's video about DR Survival, about Halloween events. Like, we took a look about the journey into the shadow, right? So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. It's kind of spoilers. I already told you in the beginning as well. So yeah. Um, Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you watch until the end, all the events like storyline or something like that. But yeah, anyway, until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you again in the next video of the Art Survival. Stay safe, healthy. I will see you again very soon, and see ya.